Welcome to the nationally recognized real estate radio network's Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. In their fun and informative way, Don and Gino are here to share their 34 combined years of real estate and finance experience. Don and Gino will also bring you the very best experts available to help guide you through the real estate, finance, tax, and credit topics you need to know that is truly relative to your home market and improving your financial wellness. Now, here are your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Franti.
Talk about excitement today. We can't be more excited than introducing you to our first live show right from our custom-built studios right here at Cherry Creek Mortgage called the Vault Media Studio right here in Valencia. And we have a special guest with us today, none other than Mr. Jim Reape with Reape Rickett. Thanks for joining us today, Jim.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, my co-host and good friend, Master of Disaster, Mr. Gino Franti.
Isn't that accurate, Don? At least once a day I walk into his office going, good news, bad news.
That's true. There you go away, away.
He did last week, I think, or a week or two ago. He says, just don't come in here anymore. Don't tell me the news. I know you'll fix it. It'll all be fine. So just don't tell me any more good news, bad news.
Well, we have we have actually a production crew now. I mean, look at this place. Isn't
beautiful?
This cool? Isn't it cool,
Congratulations,
Jim?
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, we're very excited. Only a year and I don't know, a little bit of our pocketbook to prepare this, but this gives us a lot more flexibility to be more intimate with you out there and with our wonderful guest experts like Jim Reape here. We've had Joe Messina. You've heard him before, huh? The real side, not the right side, but the real
something like that. Yeah, you're pretty close.
To give you some idea, he's looking at me right now because he's helping run our board. He's helped us put this together for us because he's obviously had his own recording studio for quite some time. So, Joe, thank you very much for helping us with this, sir. And we even have a production crew now that's going to help you see us and our guests a lot clearer than before. And we have Furman and George behind the scenes. You can't see them behind the curtain. They're working all the gadgets just like the wizard. And they're going to make sure that you can really pay attention to our guests and the great topics and information that we provide you. And that's our goal is, after 2.5 years, Gino, is providing you with great information. And we will make sure we provide that as clear and concise as possible.
Yeah, and in fact, the place you can look at that is on our website at donandgino.com. If you log in, you can see the picture Don's talking about. You just go to Watch and Chat Live. And yes, the beautiful thing about it is you can watch and chat live, and now we're actually crystal clear, so, you can see how much hair I don't have.
You can see logos on our shirts. You can see how good-looking Mr. Jim Reape is. I mean, it's quality stuff, and we're very, very excited. We had a lot of people help us out with building this studio. It's soundproofed. It's ready to go, and so you are now part of Vault Media Studio.
Nice.
Very cool, huh?
Well, let's jump into our word on wealth, because I think I'm going to have to applaud you on your predictions for the last few years. So let's jump into that.
Well, then tell me about it, Gino. And Jim, of course, as always, we love you being part of this because you're not just a great attorney, I think the best family law firm in town, bar none. Your experience precedes itself.
The signal said so.
Yeah, that's right. What's cool is if you look at most of our expert contributors did win Best of in the Signal. I'm sure you did. Steve Corwin, Newhall Escrow. Some place called Cherry Creek Mortgage. Yeah, baby. We have to thank our team for that, but and we're very excited about that. As you get that every year, though.
This was the first year the category was opened up.
So you get it every year?
We plan to.
No doubt about it. But you're also very articulate and informed about just everything. So you're just a hoot to have on the show because you have an opinion.
Thank you, guys.
We like that. Instead of just going, yes.
Well, sometimes maybe you don't want me to share.
No, it's good. It's good. Bring it on. Because we've been doing this now for over 2.5 years, Jim, and you'll get a kick out of this. Because I'm sure when you're preparing your I guess I won't say guests. We prepare our guests, but when you're preparing somebody for the stand, I'm sure you want them to be articulate about how they answer the question and stuff. And you probably have the same thing when you go, now, when they ask you this question, don't go, yes. I agree.
We do. And no matter how much preparing you do of witnesses, they will always find something that'll drop your jaw.
We've had it on the show. That's where I'm going, so, Jim, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't you agree that this? Yes, I do, Don. Okay, thank you.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So, anyways, thank you again for joining the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. We have Peter still taking care of us behind the board there at KHTS. Thank you very much, Peter. And now you're hearing us through the vault. We love you to check out the vault, so please go to donandgino.com, DONANDGINO.com. Check out our new beautiful facilities. It is awesome. Plus, you can chat with us. You can ask Jim, what the heck did he mean by that? You can ask us questions. It's all good stuff. So, that being said, let's go into our word on wealth.
Well, let's go into that word on wealth, Don, because I have to take my hat off to you. It looks like jobs are not quite as rosy as they may have once seemed, and the economy's not as rosy as it may have once seemed. Yet the stock market's rallying like crazy. They've been doing really well the last few days. Broke a new record yesterday, the highest close.
It's crazy.
It's craziness. It's total craziness. But it's just like we talked about with Chris Ingram a few weeks ago, is that bad news is now good news.
So we have to touch on this, and Jim, you'll get a kick out of this because in most cases what is normal in a stock market, when you get certain indicators, it makes makes people afraid of staying in the stock market. So, like when bad news comes out, a lot of times most people will bail out of the stock market. Typically, but we have this thing called QE, quantitative easing,
Don't we love
printing
that?
money. Evidently,
Don't we
we're
love
addicted
that?
to it.
I got one of those in my basement.
I told you. No doubt about it.
You can keep the vault.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this printing of money, evidently, and I warned Gino about this, because we're supposed to try to taper off, but I'm telling you, my opinion at one point was we may have to just go cold turkey, because every time we talk about it, it blows up our markets. Every time we even mention it. But then when things go bad, for example, the ECB, basically the Fed of the Euro, basically lowered interest rates on for the European central banks. And normally, that's bad news, because what it does is it makes our exports cost more money, because the price of money in Europe has just gone down. Therefore, ours has gone up. That means it's harder to export our goods because it just got more expensive.
Not to mention they don't like buying American things anyway.
Anyways. So, in normal cases, that would be bad for our economy. Therefore, because we're not going to export as many goods. But what's funny is, stock market rallied today. That is because now that is termed bad news. Meaning, that means Europe's bad, maybe we're bad, maybe things are bad, therefore we're going to keep printing money longer.
Well, so Don, what's going to end up happening, what I see happening now is that, like you said, it'd be a lot more difficult to pull back from all the stimulus. We have been able to end most of the stimulus programs, and this is the last one we really have going. What I think is going to happen is we're going to have to wait till the economy's overheated to be able to pull the stimulus back. And unfortunately, what that'll do is we'll have to pull the stimulus back and very shortly thereafter start raising the prime rates and the cost of money to try to stop inflation, because we're going to have to let this thing overheat a little bit.
What do you think, Jim?
Well, I mean, I understand how the market reacted, because with our quantitative easing, the intent was to provide some stimulus here in the United States. So this is basically just the European equivalent of it. So Europe has been having a more difficult time than we have in dealing with this mess. So I think it's a good move. And with everything Wall Street, we're not talking about today's reality. We're talking about 2 to 4 years out. Twitter goes out at 26, is up to 50 today. Has never made a dime.
Woo! So we're going to talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about Twitter, where the markets are at, what you need to know about why the markets are where they're at, and how it affects you in the future. And Jim's going to touch on some interesting subjects, such as the top one, bullion, when we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show.